Bruh, get your popcorn ready. EA has spoken on the Nintendo NX. Patrick Suderland, EA's executive vice president, has talked about if they will be supporting the Nintendo NX. What are they going to do with this system? Remember that unprecedented partnership that resulted in a bunch of subpar launch games and Need for Speed, which was actually halfway decent, and then completely dropped support? Yes, this same EA, but not under the same person who said that, which was John Riccatello. He's out of there. We've got new dudes in here. How is EA going to handle Nintendo NX going forward? So let's go ahead and get right into what Suderland had to say, because he did state that they are in constant communication with Nintendo regarding the Nintendo NX, and EA will be there if it makes sense. Yes, those are quotations. If it makes sense. And he also said that they are huge Nintendo fans, and one of the reasons why he personally wanted to get into games in the first place. So there's a lot of different things that you can take from this very small statement from him. So one, of course, they have a Nintendo NX dev kit. That is in complete 100%, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We've known about it for quite some time, but there are still some stupid people, you guys know who I'm talking about if you're on PlayerEssence.com, that tried to say that, no, these developers do not have dev kits. They got dev kits. They've had them for a while now. They're in constant communications. They know what's going down. Now, will EA actually put the games? He said, if it makes sense. So how will it make sense for EA? Well, one, if the Nintendo NX actually sells. And two, if EA's demands are met. And we all know about that rumor that came out to where EA said that they wanted Nintendo to market more on sports channels, wanted to have some bundles with Nintendo NX, wanted to have the apps like ESPN and MLB and all of that stuff on there. If those things are met, or at least they can meet halfway on some of them, then it will make sense for EA to put their games on the Nintendo NX. Plain and simple. They want to know that Nintendo has a clear plan to get sports fans and to get their own audience to purchase EA games on the Nintendo NX. That's plain and simple, guys. That's what it comes down to. You can like it or not, it does not matter. EA does not need Nintendo. That's the thing. Remember, this is third-party support, not third party, you better make games for me. This is not the NES era. This is not the Super Nintendo era. Third party developers hold a lot of power in these days. And it doesn't matter if you say that Nintendo's the dad or whatever like that. That crap is done, okay? Third-party developers hold a lot of power. We saw what happened when Nintendo didn't have third-party support on the Wii U. They got bodied. So I'm not saying Nintendo needs to freaking meet every single demand EA has, because I doubt Sony and Microsoft does that. But they do need to listen to EA. They do need to see what they can do to get these apps and get this stuff. And they do need to market to where their fans of their games are going to be. EA says, well, hey, we want you to market on some of these sports networks so our fans know that we have product on your system. That makes complete sense. Now, if Nintendo doesn't want to spend the money on marketing on those places and all that, then they're probably not going to get EA support, because EA makes a lot of sports games. They make a lot of like Battlefield and stuff like that, and all that stuff is advertised on ESPN and on channels with the 18 to 35 male demographic, which Nintendo actually got this generation with the Wii U. Most of the people who have the Wii U are in that demographic or like the games, and a lot of people who like the Wii U like sports too. So I think it makes sense. It's just a matter of actually making one, quality games from EA, not getting the lazy ports, and two, Nintendo following through it. They both are at fault with the Wii U as far as how the support turned out. They both are at fault. I think it's more Nintendo's more than anything for making that system the way it was. They didn't really consult with anybody as far as making it. They just kind of made whatever system they wanted, then said, hey, you're going to support us because this system's going to sell a lot. They were very arrogant with the way that they made the Nintendo Wii U. Hopefully they are not the same with the Nintendo NX, and I don't think so after what happened with the Wii U. There cannot be a repeat of the Wii U. They need third-party support. So I'm pretty sure that they went to developers and asked like, hey, what can we do? What do you guys want? How powerful will this system be? And I also think one of the big things that, if it makes sense, is that making sure that ports are easy. Like, their games are already going to be PC or Origin, PS4, Xbox One. These ports need to be super easy for EA. It should be like snapping a finger. Unlike the Wii U, where yes, the architecture was there to where it could handle Xbox 360 and PS3 ports, but it took some time, especially how PS3 games are made compared to how Xbox 360, then the Wii U. They're all kind of different in their own right, and a lot of developers aren't going to sit there and take the time to port over to the Wii U when it is very different. It does have some different things in there for you to make sure that your game is optimized and runs well. So Nintendo needs to just make sure that they get that down, and I think that they have, as far as the porting process, making it easy and simple for developers. I also think another thing is, when he says it makes sense, is that, like, what is the controller? What is the main gimmick of the console? If it's another gamepad thing to where the EA has to come up with some ideas of how to use the gamepad and all that, they're just gonna be like, skip it. They're just gonna be like, skip it. We don't want to have to deal with this because they're lazy, or they just don't feel like having to develop time and effort into making some type of other gimmick that their fans probably don't even care about. And remember, this is their fans that we're talking about. People who play Madden, people who play NBA, people who play all that stuff, they just want to play the game. They don't care. So I don't think that a lot of EA's fans are going to be 100% rushing out to go buy the Nintendo NX or anything like that. And trust me, I'm not trying to say that here. All I'm trying to say is that this is a process. This is the beginning of the process, and Nintendo needs to start doing the right thing, so hopefully in the future they can recover. If it's not this system with Nintendo NX, gradually build towards getting back that core base. This is not going to happen overnight. Some people think that. I think that I'm hyping up this system like it's going to be some type of overnight success, or all of a sudden third-party developers are just going to rush to the system. That's not what I'm saying at all, and I'll have another video talking about that later. It is a process. Nintendo needs to start making the right calls at this point, so hopefully years down the line they get that trust back and things return back to how it was in the Super Nintendo day, where you can put out a game on a Nintendo system and it's like, okay, you don't worry about third-party or first-party. It was just, okay, it's a great game on a Nintendo system, like the Super Nintendo. I didn't care about first-party or third party back when in the Super Nintendo era. I just saw Chrono Trigger and I'm like, oh, this is a Nintendo game, it's great. I saw Secret of Mana, oh, this is a Nintendo game, it's great. It's not the big separation that we have today, and hopefully it gets back to that point. Plus, I also need to have my Mass Effect Andromeda on the NX, please. I want that game on the NX. Nintendo needs to make sure that that game is there. They need EA support because I want that game. I want that game so bad. I mean, outside of sports games, there's still stuff I think Nintendo fans would really like. Mass Effect, I think Nintendo fans like. I think Nintendo fans would like Dragon Age. I think EA has a lot of different IPs. Heck, what is it, Star Wars that they're working with now? Battlefront? There's all sorts of stuff that Nintendo fans like. I mean, the Rogue Squadron games were what? One of the best selling and good games that Nintendo fans loved on the GameCube. So there's IPs there for Nintendo fans. It makes sense to some degree, but it's on Nintendo to make sure that they advertise for the sports and they advertise for the type of games that EA is going to be releasing on the console. And like I said, the controller is going to be a big thing there. And obviously the bundles, Nintendo needs to make sure that they get with EA and try to do those bundles if they can do them, or see what they can do for potentially a Star Wars or something like that. So it takes two to tango, guys. That's all I'm trying to say here. All right, that basically wraps it up for this video here. Make sure you hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And also subscribe to PlayerEssence for more news, reviews, trailers, tips, and tricks, everything on the Nintendo NX. All right, thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you for the next video. Peace.